The mountain range of Western Ghats of southern India that runs along the western coast and recognized as one of the 18 biodiversity hotspots in the world gives birth to a number of east and west flowing rivers. These rivers nurture the tropical and evergreen forests of the Ghats, diverse flora and fauna, as well as the human socio-cultural and economic life in the Deccan Plateau. Aghanashini, one such ancient river, takes her birth in the central western Ghats near Sirsi of Uttar Kannada district in the state of Karnataka. What is so distinctive about Aghanashini is that she is almost in her primal form to this day, while her neighboring sisters Sharavati and Kali have been dammed repeatedly. Aghanashini flows unrestricted through the Ghats that enables her to bring along organic material and nutrients from the forests to her estuary. Aghanashini flows westwards through the Ghats for a length of about 120 kilometers before joining the Arabian Sea at the fishing port village Tadadi near the famed Hindu shrine Gokarna. Still more distinctive is Aghanashini's estuary for its ecosystem, benefiting from the river's high organic contribution. More so, the estuary is geologically unique in its feature. While the estuaries of Kali and Sharavati are straight and give themselves directly to the sea mouth, the Aghanashini estuary takes a U-bend before opening to the sea. The rainwater that floods from the western Ghats during monsoon slows down in the U-bend and spreads into a huge expanse of low-lying land. A good share of the dead organic matter from the western Ghats settles there and provides nutritious nourishment to the fishes and other aquatic life. Ancient formations of rich species of mangrove vegetation have spread all over the estuary. Mangroves are multi-beneficial. Mangrove is rated as one of the highest productive ecosystems of the earth, ranking with tropical rainforests and coral reefs. The regular supply of nutrients in the form of mangrove detritus, that is the fallen leaves and the dead organic matter, add up to the food stock for numerous aquatic living species.
Mangrove sheds leaves faster because they have to excrete salt.
Secondly, the mangroves are ideal spawning grounds for the estuarine and coastal aquatic life. The intricate root systems of the mangroves are a secluded and safe haven for the marine fishes to spawn and rear their young ones. Thirdly, the strong network-like root systems serve to maintain the river path and restrict soil erosion. Such a unique ecosystem has made the estuary and the adjoining coast one of the best fishing grounds.
Whenever there is a tidal influence, that's when there is tide, high tide, low tide, the estuarine portion transfers the nutrients to the sea. Therefore, the entire coastal fishery depends on the estuarine productivity.
If at all the fishing port at Tadadi is recognized as a major fishing harbour, the contributors are exclusively Aghanashini and her estuary. The estuary has hence demonstrated a copious productive capacity to support significantly stable but very native social and economical systems since time immemorial.
The productivity is so high, we need not add anything to the river, but the river produces every year crores of rupees worth output.
Over 30 villages along the bank of the estuary are invariably dependent on the estuary for their social and economic life. Fishing is carried out in the estuary throughout the year, including the monsoon months, as the water is shallow and safe. In spite of large-scale mechanized fishing in the deep sea, the traditional methods of this estuarial fishing have provided not just life-sustaining but ample employment to over 9,000 fishermen families. Many interesting methods are being applied here with such many varieties of nets designated for each method. The fishing activity intensifies 3 or 4 days prior to and after the new moon and the full moon, as the lunar cycle has a higher influence on the tidal waves. The fishermen take advantage during these weeks when the estuary rises in water level to its maximum and suffers the lowest during the ebb and low tides. Jabbinabale is a method where the nets are cast along the poles erected straight across the path of the estuarial water flow. This method of fishing is done both during day and night times. The chachubale fishing is employed during the new moon and full moon days in expectation of a voluminous catch. A group of fishermen erect poles circularly on the humpy spots of the estuary and round off the area with their chachubale. The fishes thus prevented from receding back along with the water are shared among the participant fishermen. The huge areas of low-lying lands surrounding the estuary are primarily agricultural lands. These lands, about 8,000 acres, are the Ghazni Bhumi in the local parlance. The farming communities here grow a rare variety of saltwater resistant paddy, kagga.
ಕಗ್ಗನ ಭತ್ತದಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ನಮೂನೆಯ ಭತ್ತಗಳಿದೆ. ಒಂದು ಬಿಳಿ ಕಗ್ಗ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕರಿ ಕಗ್ಗ. ಕರಿ ಕಗ್ಗ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅಂದರೆ ಉಪ್ಪು ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕಾಲ ಬದುಕ್ತದೆ ಅದು, ಅಂದರೆ ಉಪ್ಪು ನೀರಾದರೂ. ಈ ಬಿಳಿ ಕಗ್ಗ ಮತ್ತು ಇತರ ಧಾನ್ಯಗಳು ಗಜನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಗುದ್ಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಕಡಿದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅದು ಹೆಟ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮರ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. 7 ದಿವಸಗಳ ಮೊದಲು ಆ ಬೀಜವನ್ನು ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. ನೆನೆಸಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಉಪಚಾರಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಉಪಚಾರ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ 7 ದಿವಸದ ನಂತರ ಅದು ಮೊಳಕೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಸರಿಯಾದ ಮೊಳಕೆ ಬಂದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಅದನ್ನು ತೆಗೆದು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹರಡಿಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಯಾವ ದಿವಸ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿತ್ತೇವೋ ಆ ದಿವಸ ಅದನ್ನು ಬುಟ್ಟಿಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹಿಂಗೆ ತೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಬರೋದು. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಸಾಲಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ತಪ್ಪಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಹೋಗೋದು.
Once the paddy is harvested, the lands are used as natural shrimp farms. The estuary being a good nursing ground, the region is found well suited for aquaculture. Among other varieties, the larvae of the tiger prawns and the white prawns migrate from the sea in large number to the nutrient-rich estuary, stay for about 3 months and grow to a weight of 30 to 40 grams before they return to the sea. During the ebb tide, the brackish water that carries the young shrimps is let into these lands through specially constructed bunds and inlets. While the water begins to recede in the low tide, the inlet gates are blocked with a specialized net, the gandibale, letting out the water back into the estuary, while the young shrimps are retained there for nurturing. The farmers of the region have traditionally practiced natural shrimp farming since a long time. However, as the export market for shrimps developed highly in the recent decades, most of the Ghazni lands were converted into modern shrimp farms and paddy growing was reduced to a minimum. The Ghazni lands have now attained prime value as India is one of the leading exporters of shrimps today. A few expanses in the low-lying Ghazni lands have proved to be the best sources for salt production. Some of the best salt pains in the country have been operating here since many centuries. The Sanikatta Cooperative Salt Manufacturing Society dates back to 15th century. The members of the Agera community of the region claim to have specialized in natural salt extraction.
ಹಿಂದಿನಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂರ್ವಜರ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಡೆದು ಬಂದದ್ದಿದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಮರುಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಈ ಕಸಬು ಮಾತ್ರ ಬಾಕಿ ಯಾವ ಜಾತಿಗೂ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಾಕಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಯಾರು ಏನಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಇದೊಂದು ದಂಧೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡುವುದೇ ಈಗ.
ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸನೂ ನಮಗಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ಇದ್ದದಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂದೇ ಕೆಲಸ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ಮಳೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಸಿ ನೆಡೋದೊಂದೇ ಕೆಲಸ.
These Ageras are landless Dalits who have been engaged in the salt production from the very beginning.
ಭೂಮಿ ಗೀಮಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟದೆ 3 ಗುಂಟೆ ಜಾಗನೇ.
ಸಾಲಿದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಲುದು ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರುವುದು.
The Ageras of the region entirely depend on the salt industry and on partial farm labor during off-season. To a considerable extent, the Ghazni lands support fishing too. A few villages depend on the fishing in the Ghazni lands, like this man from village Nushikote.
ಆಚೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಕಡಿಮೆ, ಭಾರಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ಒಂದು 4-5 ಜನ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋದು.
Farmers from Nushikote, Madanageri, Betkuli and other villages used to grow the kagga paddy in these once fertile Ghazni lands before they lost them in 1973. 1,848 acres, including this patch, were acquired from them by the government and leased out to a private industrial house for industrial salt production. The lands were, however, rendered waste in less than a decade when the production was a failure.
As agricultural land, it was contributing to our Ishurayan ecosystem because all the washout from the agricultural land was going there. In fact, the loss from this abundant land for the past 30-32 years is immense.
With inadequate compensation and no rehabilitation or alternative allotment of land, these farmers were forced to shift to fishing for their livelihood.
ಈ ಗೌಡರು ಪಡ್ತಿ ಪಟಗಾರು ನಾಮದಾರಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ.
Many farming communities other than the traditional fishermen survive on unauthorized fishing in these patches that were once their own but now a government property. An awkward irony indeed.
ಜಮೀನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತು ಉದ್ಯೋಗ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಜಮೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆ ಏನೂ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆ ಉದ್ಯೋಗನೇ ಮಾಡಿ ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆ ಒಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಮತ್ತು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಉದ್ಯೋಗನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
What is a strikingly noticeable phenomenon is that the fishing in these Ghajini lands itself, let alone in the estuary proper, has been sustainable to nearly 1,000 homes of 4 to 6 villages.
ಮೀನುಗಾರಿಕೆಯಿಂದ ದಿವಸಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಮನೆಗೆ ಸರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 200-300 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ದುಡಿಬೋದು.
Doesn't it speak volumes about the productive capacity of the Aghanashini estuary and the economy it supports? Another most dependable life-sustaining activity besides fishing that the estuary supports is the collection of clams or the shellfish. Thousands of men and women earn their daily bread by scooping out the silt at the bottom of the estuary and collecting clams. The shallow water is hospitable and safe during the low tide, especially during the new and full moon days. Younger women dare out to neck-deep water, dip into it more than 100 times a day to collect at least 5 to 6 buckets of shellfish.
ಹಿಂಗೆ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಳುಗ್ತಾರೆ ಶ್ವಾಸ ಕಟ್ಟು ಮುಳುಗ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು ಕಾಲಾಗ ಬೇಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಲೆ ಚಿಪ್ಪಿ ಹೊಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಎಡ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಯ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ತಿಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗ್ದು ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಕೊಲ್ಲಿಲೆಯ ಮುಗ್ದು ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಹಾಗೆ ಶ್ವಾಸ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು.
ಐದು ಬಕೆಟ್ 6 ಹಿಂಗೆ ತೆಗಿತಾರೆ.
Of the 365 days in a year, the clam collecting activity spreads over 200 days, the high seasons being April, May and September, October. The fact that the clam collectors row their boats every day down to the estuary from upstream villages like Mirjana and Divagi as far as 12 kilometers on river is a vital evidence for the assured reap. Unlike many other west-flowing rivers, Aghanashini estuary supports an ever-growing clam population. The silt composition is more than 60% of the total soil at the bottom of the estuary, and the sand is just about 15 to 20%. This proportionate combination of silt-sand mix on the one hand and the low salinity of the brackish water on the other have been extremely favorable for clam life.
Wherever there are old shells, they say that that is their residential place, ancestral place. There will be the accumulation of clams. Not only that, the dead shells contribute to the calcium content of the river. And calcium is very much essential. Calcium carbonate is very much essential for these clams.
The estuary promises to retain this balanced ambience as far as the river is allowed to remain in its primal form with no or negligible modern interference. Apart from the fisher folk, hundreds of peasant women, especially the Halaki Vokkaligas, from far-off places in the district flock to the estuary for clam collection during the April-May high season. Back home, they separate the mollusks from their shells and dry them in the sun to store till the next season to use in their menu. This has been an annual tradition among the local communities, a part of their food culture.
ಅಘನಾಶಿನಿ ಹೊಳಿದು ಗಾಡಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಬಂದ್ರಿ ಯಾವ ಹೊಳಿಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದೊಂದೇ ಹೊಳಿಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹೋಗಿ ತೆಗಿತೇವೆ ದಿವಸ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೋಡಿನೂ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆ ಸರಿ ಮಾರಾಟ 45 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಉಳಿತಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತದ ಅವ್ರು ರೊಕ್ಕ ಮಾಡಿ ಸರಿ ಒಂದೇ ಲೆಕ್ಕದ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಅದ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಆದರೆ ಇದ್ರಾಗ ಏನು ಉಳಿದಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರು ದುಡ್ಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡೋದೆ 50 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 100 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು 100 ಕೈಯನ್ನು ಹಾಕೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಹೀಗೆ ನಮ್ದು ಹೊಳಿದ ತಂದಿನಯ್ಯ ಈಗ ಅಘನಾಶಿನಿ ಹೊಳಿ ಹೋಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಂಡಸ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಳ್ಕೋದ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಲ್ಕಣಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಬ್ರೆಲ್ಲೂ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಕುಬೇರನ ಕೈಲಿ ಸಾಲ ತೆಗು ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ನಮ್ಮದು. ಹೇಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಟ್ಟು ನೀರಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಈ ಬಳಿ ತೆಗೆದು ಚಿಪ್ಪಿ ತೆಗೆದು ನೀರಿಗೆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ತೆಗೆದು ಹೀಗೆ ಅವನ ಕೈ ಸಾಲ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯವಹಾರ ಆಗಬೇಕು.
Highly rich in proteins and calcium, these delicious clams were limited to only local consumption earlier. Today, its market has stretched to the interiors of the state of Karnataka as well as neighboring states of Goa and Kerala.
ಮಡಗಾಂವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೇಟ್ ಉಂಟು. ರೇಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಾಧಾರಣ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ 100-120 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಹೋಗ್ತದೆ.
Some affording fisher folk collect clams during the high season and deposit them in the silt in shallower water on the banks. They retrieve and sell them later for a higher price during the off-season demand. The shells of the dead clams are a rich source of lime. Aghanashini estuary has enormous deposits of the dead shells. They have not exhausted even after 20 years of mining. The mining here is by human extraction and not mechanized, a method that ensures minimal disturbance to the ecology and the aquatic life in the estuary. Shell mining in the estuary directly provides livelihood to at least 800 local miners. The miners work just for about 4 to 6 hours a day in the morning and earn between 300 to 400 rupees.
The individual worker can earn 1,500 rupees a day if he works properly.
At least 10 lime extraction units operate in Kumta Taluk, just like this one in Divagi. These ovens entirely depend on the shells mined from Aghanashini estuary. Besides many local specific uses, the lime is used as a pesticide in the arecanut plantations too. Bamboo basket making is a home industry that lives entirely on the estuarine economy. Needless to say, the survival of the traditional basket weavers relies on the good health of the estuary. So is the case with the local skilled boat repairers. Yet another bounty that the estuary offers is the Parna viridis, commonly known as the green mollusk. It is recognized in the local Kannada language as Neeli Kalaga. Seasoned and sporty fishermen go further down the estuary where the sea waves are rougher and collect the green mollusks underwater the same way as the young women collect the clams.
5 ಅಡಿ ಆಳ ಇರುತ್ತದು. ಆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೈಲಿ ಆದಷ್ಟು ತಾಕತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿ ಬಗ್ಸೋದು. ಶಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಷ್ಟು ಹಾಕಿ ಬಗ್ಸೋದು. ಬಗ್ಸಿದ ನಂತರ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಬಂದ್ರೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವಸರ ಕಟ್ತದೆ, ಆದರೂ ಬಿಡಬಾರ್ದು.
Green mollusks have a similar market as the clams. And why? They are even more valued as a delicacy and also for their higher nutritional value.
ಒಂದೊಂದು ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ನಾವು 1000, 1,000, 2,000 ಹೀಗೆ ತೆಗಿತೇವೆ. ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಉಳಿತಾಯ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ದುಡಿಯೋದು 6,000 ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದಾಜು.
Our friend fisherman Ishwar from the village of the same name as the river Aghanashini is an enterprising fisherman. Some fishermen of his ilk venture out to the edge of the sea to cast their most regarded kurde bale for a prize catch. The kurde fish is a large marine fish whose adult weighs between 20 to 35 kilograms and priced anywhere between rupees 30 and 40 per kilo. Ishwar left the stone-anchored net to remain underwater for 3 to 4 days and checked for the bait twice every day during the low tide. On the second day, he had his prize catch. Aghanashini and her estuary are first-rate examples and guidelines if one considers seeking an alternative path for a humane and sustainable development and for an equitable ecology and economy for generations to come. Aghanashini's exemplary estuarine ecosystem that cannot perhaps be compared with any other available in Karnataka is highlighted as one of the most eco-sensitive regions, mainly for its mangrove propagation. The Coastal Regulatory Authority has classified the mangroves and the spawning grounds as CRZ11, meaning extremely sensitive. Any human interference in the form of polluting the water or changing the shape of the estuary with constructions is certain to harm the interests of nature, the river and her children, so entirely dependent on her. To her children, Aghanashini is everything: their faith, their religion, their life and death. Can there be an equally good model for this part of the earth that replaces the lifestyle that is so less disturbing to the nature and the river? Can there be a more promising economy to replace this very local and micro economy that is truly independent and self-sustaining? Can there be a government that alters and still reassures the perennial security to livelihood that the children of Aghanashini enjoy? Will another God be able to change their destiny and still grant them the same course that their mother Aghanashini has bestowed upon them? The Government of India proposes to install a 4,000 megawatts coal combustion thermal power generating station on the banks of the estuary. The project proposes to stock the coal on a site on the edge of the sea beyond the estuary. A major international harbour would be planned to receive shiploads of imported coal every day. The estuary would be deepened to transport the coal from the stockyard to the power generating station.
For Uttara Kannada, we have one of the most beautiful ecosystem, which cannot be compared with any other ecosystems available here.
ಈ ಅಗನೇಶ್ನಿ ಹೊಳಿಲಿ ಮೀನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ದಂಧಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ ದಂಧಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಗನೇಶ್ನಿ ಹೊಳಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಆಗೋದು ಸಮ, ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ವೀಸ ಏನಾರು ಹಾಕಿ ಕೊಂದೋದು ಸಮ. ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಇದು ಯಾವ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನ ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಅಗನೇಶ್ನಿ ಹೊಳಿಲೇ, ಹೋಗೋದೇ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನಾವು.
And if all the 1800 acres are converted into a wonderful mangrove, no other place in the west coast can compete with this. That will be one of the most beautiful ecosystem.
I think this Om Beach is one of the most beautiful places I ever been. It's very natural.
The Indian people meet the Western people here, and it's like it's a nice place to meet.
The beach like this, I don't want nothing to change.
It's a very famous place in Israel.
people of the region have their apprehensions about the possible fate that would be met by the local economy, the estuarine ecosystem, the marine life, and those tens of thousands of homes entirely dependent on the estuary.
ದುರ್ವಿಹುಲ್ನಂಗೆ ಸಾಯ್ತೇವೆ ಅಥವಾ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಹೀಗೆ ಬೇಸಿಗೆಗೆ ಸಾವುದು, ಮಳೆಗಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹುಟ್ಟೋದು, ಈ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತವ್ರೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಈ ಉಷ್ಣತಾವರ ತಂದುಕೊಂಡು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಜನತೆಗೆ ತ್ರಾಸಾಗುವಂತೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ.
ಜಲವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಯೋಜನೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಅಣುವಿದ್ಯುತ್ ಯೋಜನೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಸೀಬರ್ ನೌಕಾನೆಲೆ ಇರಲಿ, ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವು ಈಗ ಏನನ್ನು ಕಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ಯೋಜನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ ಪ್ರಸಂಗ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅರ್ಥಾತ್ ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಒಂದು ಬೋಳು ಗುಡ್ಡ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ ಕಾಲ ಬರಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ಜನರ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ತುಂಬ ಅಮಾನವೀಯ ಇದು.
The collective thinking of the people of the region is determined to protect their environment and economy. Can a democracy afford to overrule this collective thinking and lose its very meaning by doing so?